up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and I have something very interesting to react to in this video. We're going to be looking at this article that says, is Matt Patricia the worst coach in the league? Now, something I find really funny about this article is that it was written by a Philadelphia Eagles community. Awesome. Okay, so obviously we play the Eagles tomorrow. Super excited. This is wrote by Dave Mangels? I'm gonna go with Mangels. I don't know. Either way. Okay, he wrote this article, and I think this is really interesting that it was written by an Eagles community, right? Because we play them tomorrow, so they're really trying to bash on our guy, Matt Patricia. Now, I've actually read through some of this, because I had to take some notes down. Just some things that I disagree with. You'll see some of it. Okay, let me just get right into it. Okay, so let's go down a little bit. They basically say, is Matt Patricia the worst coach in the league? This is laughable in my opinion, okay? He says it's unfair to judge rookie head coaches after 2 games through Cliff Kingsbury's making a case. Okay, so basically they're saying they can't include rookie coaches. That way you can't say that those guys are worse. But let's get right into it, okay? Now, you can read this if you want. I can skim through it. It says the 2 hallmarks of a great coach: game management, an ability to make their team more than the sum of parts, and their man management, the ability to lead a team over the course of a season. Bill Belichick is the best coach of his era because of this. He is the course of the greatest strategic minds in the history of the sport, and while no one is running through a brick wall to play for him, Belichick's team almost never have an off day. I think that's right. Okay, I don't know. And then it says Matt Patricia has neither of those going for him. All right, let's get this thing started, okay? First off, at best, he is a mediocre defense coordinator. Okay, I'm excited to do this. Okay, we'll read a little bit before I get into some of my notes. The Patriots beat the Rams in the Super Bowl in part because they copied Patricia's game plan against them. But Patricia lost that game 30-16. Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky had some of their better games against him. The Lions went from 19th DVOA, which you guys may not know what that is. I literally had no idea what that was until I looked it up. But basically, DVOA is defensive adjusted value over average. Okay, from 2017 to 27th, while the Patriots went from 31st to 16th without him. Maybe he has some good ideas, but he can't get the team to execute them. Okay, already, I'm going to demolish this real quick. And there's a very, very simple stat, okay? Now, there's one thing that Matt Patricia has done over the course of his career as a defense coordinator. Give up yards. Matt Patricia gives up yards. That's what he does. His defense, he gives up yards. But one thing that he doesn't give up is points. Okay, and we've seen that, right? Let me just hop you into Matt Patricia with doing the New England Patriots, because basically they say right here he is a mediocre defense coordinator. Well, we might as well look at his defense coordinator days, right? Okay, 2012 to 2017, he was the defense coordinator with the New England Patriots, right? And they were great. We know they were great. They're still great. What did they do? Okay, 2012. First defense coordinator season, he was 9th in the league, giving up 20.7 points per game. 2013, 10th in the league, giving up 21.1 points per game. 2014, they were 8th in the league, giving up 19.6 points per game. 2015, 10th in the league, 19.7 points per game. 2016, first in the league, 15.6 points per game. And in 2017, 5th in the league, 18.5 points per game. So what does that tell you? It tells you that this dude don't give up points. He was in the top 10, at least in the top 10 every single season as a defense coordinator with the Patriots. Okay, that's interesting. Then, 2018 with the Detroit Lions, they were 16th in the league, which they actually finished 10th. If you want to look at yards, they finished 10th to end the season in total yards allowed. Okay, great. And in 2019, currently, we know what's going on here. We gave up 10 points to the Chargers. And for me, yards, yes, you don't want to give up a lot of yards, because it eats up the clock and stuff. But what we're seeing here is that when it comes down to it, giving up points per game is always the most important, right? Because how do you beat a team? Well, you score more points. And what we've seen from Matt Patricia is that he's been in the top 10 every single year with the New England Patriots as their defense coordinator, who was first in 2016. He was 5th in 2017. So he just got better. Then with the Lions, we were 16th. So, look, if y'all want to look at these crazy, whatever these are, defensive adjusted value over average, okay, I mean, whatever, bro. But if we're looking at it simply, I don't understand how you can say this guy's a mediocre defense coordinator, okay? He's not, all right? Now, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so next up it says, He's also had some high-profile embarrassments. Last season, the Lions had their plays called out by the other team before they ran them. This season, that wasn't so much of an issue since Patricia called timeout when he didn't trust Matthew Stafford. Okay, I see what you're doing there, Philly. I see what you're doing with this article. You are basically bringing up the first game, let's remember, the first game of Matt Patricia's career with the Detroit Lions versus the Jets, where they were calling out plays. Now, yes, you can put some of this on Matt Patricia. I will say this was embarrassing. Again, it was his first game. And secondly, wasn't our offense coordinator Jim Bob Cooter? I think everybody knew what we were running when Jim Bob Cooter was here. That was the problem, okay? So, okay. Next thing they say is that, okay, this wasn't much of a problem, so they're trying to make jokes now. And he's saying that Patricia called a timeout when he didn't trust Matthew Stafford to get the playoff in time. Stafford was rightfully mad at him. Some criticized his decision in that same game to not go for it from midfield on 4th and 5, which resulted in an 11-yard punt. Could have been worse. Okay, bah! So, right here we say that this season, in much sense, okay, so Patricia didn't trust Matthew Stafford to get the playoff in time. Okay, look, obviously, they called the timeout and they shouldn't have. Again, hindsight is 2020. So, at the time, you see the play clock running down, you call the timeout. That's just kind of what you do. And obviously, I was against it, right? You should always trust Matthew Stafford. As you guys probably know, I'm a big Matthew Stafford fan. I got fat heads of him everywhere. But I can kind of understand where he's coming from. And what we saw and learned from week 2 is that he said, you know what? Y'all are right. I'm trusting Matthew Stafford, and he did. He trusted Matthew Stafford. Throw back-to-back picks. Okay, I still trust you. Throw it to the end zone, touchdown. Then what do? Okay, third down to seal the game. You don't run it. No, you put it in Matthew Stafford's hand. The guy that you give the money to, the guy that I've been saying for years, look, when the game is on the line, stop running the ball, give it to Matthew Stafford, let him end it. That's what you pay him for, and that's what he did. So yes, you could say that it was wrong for him not to trust in him in that game, in that situation, right? Awesome. But he did learn from his mistakes, because then in week 2, he trusted the heck out of Matthew Stafford. Now, these are sensitive topics which we're about to get to here, okay? And right here, these to me don't have a lot to do with coaching necessarily, like X's and O's, but it does have a lot to do with, how can I say it? Like off the field issues maybe? Alright, so the first thing, I'm not going to get too into this because look, I don't know the story, I don't know what happened, I'm not trying to say what happened, alright? I'm just trying to understand why these are on the article, okay? So first thing is said, he's not a leader, right? He's not a good leader at all, which I disagree with. I think that's definitely an opinion, but let's see what their statements are here. He had a sexual assault incident the team did not care about. Okay, you just said the team did not care about. So is that Matt Patricia's fault? No. Now, what was the sexual assault incident? This was a sexual assault allegation. Now, what does allegation mean? Well, allegation simply means, here's the definition, a claim that someone has done something wrong made without proof. Okay, awesome. And then Patricia goes on to say about this, he says, as someone who has been falsely accused, never given a chance to find his name. I think that's what it is, to find his name. Okay, so basically here, we don't have the evidence this happened. That's why it was an allegation. I'm not going to say it happened or it didn't. I'm not going to get into that because that's not my place to step. But I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, and then we say he's routinely late to team meetings. Okay, now this was last season. This issue came up with the Lions when he was first there. We heard a couple of rumors, and I think this kind of stuff comes out when you're not winning, right? We heard a lot of things. People were making a big deal of a lot of things because we weren't winning, right? Him calling out a reporter, which I was fine with. But the article was that, you know, all the news then was, oh, you can't do that if you're not winning. You can do that. It's respect. He's your head coach. You can do that, okay? And if you don't like it, fire him. But the Lions didn't fire him because that's respectful, right? You should set up when you're talking and asking questions. Routinely late to meetings. I don't know the whole gist of the whole late to meeting things. I mean, you could probably read up on it more. I've heard that, you know, he said he had to do stuff. He was just running late. But overall, I mean, come on now. I mean, okay. Well, I'll even give you that one. I'll give you that one. Veteran players were displeased with him after one game, okay? Now, this goes back against the Jets game, right? He's going back to the Jets game. He says veterans being unhappy with how hard Matt Patricia has worked them and all the rules in the place there. Results last night, blowout loss to the Jets could bring turn your heads in both ways. Okay, so basically, again, we're going back to his first game. And again, stuff comes out when you lose. If you don't win, you hear a lot of stuff, right? I mean, nothing really goes well when you don't win. Jim Bob Cooter asked how Matthew Stafford has played this season. That's Detroit Lions information. Okay, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. But now let's scroll down a little bit. Instill this culture into his staff. Why? What is the problem with giving out information? I mean, have we seen the Lions recently in press conferences? They've been fine. I mean, I think Stafford's been the most unique and chill that he's ever been. He's been himself in the meetings now. But to say that, like, that's not a good leader because he's saying that's Detroit Lions information. What's wrong with that? I'm more okay with you not giving away information. I don't need to know. We can see how y'all are playing. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to give away anything. I'd rather you not. You keep that to yourself. If you are winning, I'm okay with that. But again, this comes out because last season they went 6-10. And everyone was upset because they were supposed to go 9-7. Now, well, I mean, not because they were supposed to go 9-7, because they just went 9-7. Okay, made his team practice in the snow in preparation for 4 straight home games in the dome. Okay, this one I kind of understand, but kind of don't, right? So, yes, it's kind of weird, right? Like, oh, you're playing in dome games. Why would you play in the snow? Now, I remember this last year. I can remember all these storylines coming up. Now, Matt Patricia, one of the things that he did say is that, he likes to work in the elements to get his team prepared. And people were like, well, why are you doing that if you're going to play inside? I can understand that. Like, why would you do that? But at the same time, he is the coach. I mean, you bring him in to do something, right? You bring him in to make these moves. And again, if they're winning, this wouldn't have came up. But, I mean, you bring him in to bring his philosophy. And is this what he wants to do? That's what he wants to do. This is his right. He is the coach. Did anything bad happen because of this? Yes, we lost. Now, I remember Matt Patricia saying that, he likes to practice outside rather than the turf because it's better on joints. And if that's the case, then I understand why he's outside. I mean, if it's better on their joints, and that's what his trainers are telling him, that's what the doctors are telling him, hey man, this is better for the legs, their joints, everything if they play outside. Okay, we're going to do that. All right? I think this little of a detail should not affect how good he is as a coach. Okay, okay. Let's remember, guys, he's in his second season. Okay, let's just remember that. We're gonna say worst coach in the NFL. You're gonna disqualify rookie coaches when he's basically a rookie coach. Okay, this guy has coached for 18 games. Okay, he said, this is beyond men territory. When the Patricia era is over, we're going to hear so many stories about what went on behind the scenes, which will be impressive considering what we already know. Okay, opinion. But he says you can get away with being a jerk if you win. Okay, now he's getting into the jerk category. I don't understand where he's getting into jerk for. What do you do? How is he a jerk? Is he a jerk for making them practice outside? You know how much these guys get paid to play football? This is his job. If he wants to practice outside, you can practice outside. If you don't like it, if the Lions did not like it, you fire him. Because that's their option, right? The Lions have this option. Okay? Us as fans, we may look from afar and be like, oh, he's a jerk for doing that. Is he? I mean, have we heard players talk about it? No. Okay, we hear random people here, but have we heard the players talk about it? No. Okay? And if the Lions did not like it again, fire him. They have the option to. They've done it before. They fired coaches during the season. So it must not be that bad. He says you can be a jerk, which I don't understand where you get jerk from. I don't think he's been a jerk. Have you seen this guy? Have you seen this Matt Patricia after they in the locker room and stuff? This dude is, I feel like he's fine. I don't understand where jerk comes from. He says you can't do that and then take a team that had back-to-back winning seasons and go 6-10. I mean, okay, look. So basically you're saying, all right, so if Matt Patricia would have been 9-7 again, this would have been okay. I'm okay with having a bad season if that means having a good season, right? Because sometimes when you instill your new culture, isn't everyone on that whole boat that, oh, we're same old Lions? With Call, we were the same old Lions because we were so mediocre, we couldn't get over the hump, we couldn't win the big games. But you want him to do the same thing? If 9-7, Matt Patricia goes 9-7, you would be saying that, but you wouldn't be calling him a jerk, right? Let him do his own thing, see what happens, and then we'll judge on it based on it a couple years later. You can't do this off of 18 games and go start calling him a jerk. All right, right now what we know is we're 1-0-1. We're still undefeated through 2 weeks. And we beat a Chargers team that in the past, the same old Lions probably wouldn't have beat. Okay? And, being down 6-10 that whole game, yes, you may say there's some fluke duke in there, there's some crazy things that happened. The fact is we won, and when it says, you want to say, okay, well, they beat themselves. That's fine. You could say they beat themselves, but I'd rather have them deal with the issues than us. Okay, these aren't our problems. If you beat yourself, that's on you. That's not on us. This has always been on the Lions. That's always been a Lions thing. Oh man, if the refs made us lose. If we didn't do this one dumb thing, we would have won the game. Kind of like the Cardinals situation, right? But now it's on the other team, and now we're mad about this. It's like, all right, wait a minute. Let it be their fault for once. Let's give this man a chance before saying he's the worst coach in the league. Then he says the Eagles face the Lions with a bevy of injury problems that will put them at some disadvantage. But they also have a big advantage in that Matt Patricia is one of, if not the worst coach they will face all season. Don't just take my word for it, that's Lions. Okay, so again, opinion here. Now, again, keep in mind, this is wrote by the Eagles, right? This is wrote by the Eagles. All right. Matt Patricia's the baddest job related. Is Matt Patricia the worst coach in the league? He literally said, don't take my word for it, ask Lions fans. 60% of fans, that's over half. So more people believe, no, he's not the worst coach in the league. And I'm guessing because this is an Eagles article, some of these votes are Eagles fans. I mean, can we assume that? All right, y'all. Look, if you don't like Patricia, if you don't think he's the best coach in the league, if you think Caldwell's better, if you want to say Short's better, I know people are saying that. Okay, I mean, that's fine. But can we not jump to conclusions and say Matt Patricia's the worst coach in the league after one season? Give this man some time. That's all I want. Give him some time. We'll look back. Maybe we look back and we're like, yeah, he was the worst coach. And it's like, all right. But at this point, I mean, there's just a lot of things in here that I'm not getting. I'm not understanding how this makes you the worst coach in the league. Again, the allegation stuff, that's none of my business. I only want that to be part of this. I don't want to discuss that because if it happened, if it didn't, it doesn't really, it's not something I really want to talk about because it's more personal, right? It's a personal thing that I don't want to get into. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. There's only a few people that know what really went down. But the fact is, I mean, when you look at all the numbers here, bad defense coordinator, mediocre. He's top 10 every single year with the Patriots in points per game. I mean, I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Prop, for watching, and I'm out.